Since the advent of the internet, the entire world has changed and is pretty changing rapidly. Now, due to this change, the dynamics of businesses have changed, and companies have made data their primary focus. Businesses have more information about their customers or their stakeholders, and they're using them in the pretty right way that can help them build their business more profitable. Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Analytics Insight podcast, where we talk about the ever evolving technology space. And I'm your host, Priya Dialani. Now, achieving improved business performance through leveraging data depends both on the quality of your data as well as the selection of your data intelligence platform. Leading data intelligence platforms also allow your company to be highly intentional in the business questions, and that can help you address the present story behind the data. And today we have one such company that delivers cutting edge features in a business intelligence platform. Now let's welcome Amit Tripathi, Managing Director of ICOGZ. Hi Amit, how are you doing? Welcome to our podcast.
Hi, Priya. Thank you so much. Lovely to be here. Uh, Happy to, respond to queries. I believe you guys are doing some amazing work, on the platform, making users and consumers aware, about the various movements that happen in the technology world or the data analytics world. And thank you for having me over.
Right. Thank you so much. We're glad to have you on a podcast today. So let's start with, telling more about what your company is into, what's the specialization, because the name sounds pretty interesting to me, ICOX. So even I'm more curious, and I'm sure listeners are also curious to know about what the company is into.
Lovely. Thank you so much. So, ICOGZ essentially as a brand name stands for Intelligent Cogs of Wheels. What that essentially means is, in today's world, if you look at businesses, you look at marketing as a practice, you look at retail as an industry, look at healthcare as an industry, we are all generating and creating data from all, forms of technology interventions that are coming in into a business. Now, when I say technology interventions coming in into a business, what that essentially means is we have built technological solutions that help us run our business or run our operation smoothly, whether it be a CRM system, whether it be a loyalty management system, whether it be marketing for performance marketing or programmatic marketing, or it be social media listening, digital listening. There are various tools and systems that in the modern era exist and are working to create content that are coming in and making our life that much more effective, that much more meaningful in terms of conducting our business and conducting our operations in a more meaningful manner. However, when you look at businesses, the way they are growing, there are businesses which have been set up years ago, right? And therefore, our technology also has evolved. We've got legacy systems which have been built maybe tens of years ago, and they are doing a stellar job as far as some organizations are concerned. And therefore, it becomes a backbone or core operating system of our businesses that we conduct on a daily basis. Whilst we've been running our entire operation now for the last 4 years, where we are building various solutions and stacks to help businesses overcome challenges, we've identified that there are two or three key problems that an organization faces, right? Number one, the first problem that really comes in is, how do I marry disjointed, disparate data sources, whether they be structured, semi-structured, unstructured, like in the case of legacy systems? How do we bring all of these together at one place to help us create, a very simple viewability of all my data sets in one meaningful format? Therefore, consolidation or harmonization of data becomes very, very, very critical. The second problem that people face is that even if I've collected and collated all of this data, what is the timeliness of this data? Am I doing it in real time? Am I doing it as fast as possible? Or am I running a lag of, a day, a week, a month, for me to bring all of this data together? And therefore, once I've brought them together, am I able to convert that into meaningful intelligence, meaningful insights, such that the organization can react or act on the data intelligence that is coming by? The third most important problem that really comes in is that, let's say you've got timeliness of data, let's say you're getting it real time, let's say you've got it harmonized, then is there a system which is going through GBs or terabytes of data, consolidating all of that and bringing me actionable intelligence as I run my business on a day-to-day basis, right? These three problems essentially are the problems, and these are not my words. These are various research reports. Whether you pick up KPMG, you pick up BCG, you pick up Deloitte, you will find that they have all done extensive research in this space. And these are the top three problems that almost everyone in unison has spoken of. And these are the challenges that one business wants to address and wants to sort. What ICOGZ does today. So when we started ICOGZ, our focus was to just integrate the marketing side of data. So all your digital marketing platforms, your media data, your print media data, your activation data, your CRM, your loyalty, just those pieces of data. Then we realized that, whilst marketing data is fragmented and very disjointed in its core, because each platform has its own metrics or measurement yardsticks in which they measure performance, which they measure, various engagements with the customer. Businesses, on the other hand, when you're looking at inventory data, when you're looking at retail intelligence data, you're looking at point of sale data, POS data, you're looking at CRM beyond just a customer identifier, but also going towards zones of customer intelligence in terms of past purchasing history, persona and profile of the audience, purchasing habit, and various formats of factors, whether this customer is cannibalizing the business for a retail store by going and buying from online, or is it an online customer who also comes offline to come in and take a look. All of these are data sets that an organization is desperate to have. While we started building this entire platform, we realized that the landscape that we work in, is challenging, but anything that is challenging also gives you a great opportunity, which is where ICOGS as a service today came in, where we bring various cogs of wheels that a machine, that an organization needs, right? So cogs essentially is the various cogs of wheels that make a machine work, which is where ICOGS, which is intelligent cogs, that we bring in together. How do we make different sizes, different scales, different scopes of cogs to come in and work together to make one organization tick or work, right? That's where ICOGS comes in. We are an AI system, we are an AI solution which marries all disjointed data, marries all disconnected, disparate data, brings it together, harmonizes all of this data, massages it to make one simple visual rendition of your entire data, organizational data set. And then the AI system that sits on top of this visualization starts giving you intelligence in real-time basis. It starts telling you what are the areas that you need to focus on, what are the areas that you need to really, pick up urgently, what are the areas that are good to do's, must-haves, must-do's, take reactive action or take proactive action in real-time basis. And this is our endeavor, where we work with organizations across board. We work with one of the largest beverages company in the world. We work with one of the largest pharmaceutical company for their OTC division in the world. We work with one of the largest banks in India, work with one of the largest banks in the Middle East. We work with one of the largest retailers in the Middle East, and so on and so forth, where we are helping them bring all of their data together at one place, and the leadership to then start spending more time taking decisions rather than spending the resources to consolidate data, make sense out of the data. We do all the heavyweight lifting for each of these businesses, such that their leadership, their operating teams, their management teams can focus on taking decisions which will take the business cause further, right? That's essentially what we do.
Great, quite impressive, Amit. I think when we talk about data, I guess each industry or each organization definitely has access to data. But how do you bring all of that data together and actually make sense out of it so that you can foster like a data-driven decision-making strategy across the entire organization? So I guess you and your company are kind of solving a very critical problem when it comes to data consolidation, segmentation, and churning insights out of it, so that the leadership team can actually, just take quick decisions, probably in real time, and make sure that they are improving their bottom line. That's quite impressive, I would say. Now,
Thank you.
I guess you are a finance postgraduate and a self-confessed accidental marketer who's
Right.
actually more involved in creating unique and path-breaking creative marketing strategies. So, how did you, get involved into a data intelligence platform, or can you tell us more about your role and contribution towards the company?
Of course. So again, thank you for the question. Very, very apt and relevant actually. So I've been a first generation entrepreneur. I started off. So like you said, I'm a graduate in mathematics. I'm a postgraduate in finance. I've been threatening to finish my PhD, my doctorate for a very long time. I haven't had the time to go and complete it, but again, 2024 is the year where I've committed to myself that I'll take up my PhD a lot more seriously. Uh, I started off in the dot-com boom era, right, with an education business. And with that education business, the focus was to bring in digital education content to students for the 10th standard, 12th standard, the preschools and the K-12 kind of a market. At the age of 21, you start seeing some big numbers, and you start doing some great work. You start thinking that, you are on to something. Challenge essentially came in when the dot-com bubble burst happened, and I did not raise funding in time. That led me to my first tryst with destiny, where I realized that probably the business that I've gotten into, while very lucrative, needs a lot more capital than I could afford. So had to give a close down to the entire education business. And as destiny would take me to, I went into a partnership with a very large advertising firm, created a partnership with them, which focused on digital advertising way back in 1999, 2000. I ran that enterprise as the managing director of that entity up until 2007. 2007, I brought out the equity that the agency had, one of the large agencies in India. They had an equity in this firm. I brought them out and I rechristened that entire entity as ID8 Labs. ID8 Labs is today amongst one of the leading independent marketing agencies, companies in the country. We've worked with hundreds of brands. We've built brands. We work with various clients. We work with various, cross-border clients. We run practices where we bring international brands to explore the Indian markets here. We take Indian brands overseas and we work with them in terms of taking their stories to the global audiences. And I was at the helm of this business and I ran that business up until 2018, 2019. I was the managing director and CEO for ID8 Labs, and I ran the business at the forefront. One of those days, you can take, these entrepreneurial bug out of a person, probably only after that person hangs up his or her boots, and maybe not even after that. So for me, I had always been itching to do something more and not just running an established ongoing business, right? So in 2018, just pre-COVID, we realized that we had a 20-25 member team just doing analytics. And what I mean by analytics is we were doing absolutely bottom funnel analytics. Why do I call it bottom funnel? It's very simple. We were consolidating data from all marketing sources, whether it be Google search, Google Display Network, Facebook advertising, Facebook content, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and bringing it all together and trying to then present it to clients, then take data from clients from their CRM, and again try and present that data back to the client in terms of making attribution models out of it and helping them build intelligence. It was my opinion at that point in time that there has to be a better way of doing this. And that's where the ICOGZ journey started. ICOGZ essentially had been a vision for the last 10, 15 years. If you look at the domain name history, I registered this domain close to 2003, right? So almost 20 years ago, and which is where the focus was that can I help consolidate various media intelligence and media performance campaigns and everything in that one place. It took me 17, 18 years of running that business to kind of realize that, I probably need to move away from the marketing side of the business network that I ran and move towards the startup ecosystem all over again and build a product which I'd been itching to do for a very long time. So while I continue to be the largest shareholder in the Ideate entity, however, I gave up all my day-to-day responsibilities of the business and started running ICOGZ and set up ICOGZ as a business itself, right? We created a separate company, brought in capital, funded the business ourselves, and created a team, brought in people from various walks of life. We have some amazing talent in on board. We have a chief product officer, we have a chief growth officer, we have a chief revenue officer, each one of them with almost 15, 20 years of work ex in various walks of life. We have a team of about 50, 55 odd people, which includes data scientists, which includes technologists, which includes a lot of UI UX team members that we have. And we started building this entire product. Focus on the product essentially came in during COVID, right? So there are two ways to look at COVID. There was a pre-COVID world and there was a post-COVID world. COVID put us into a dilemma whether we should shut this business because it was pre-revenue at that point in time, or should we continue to build? So being an entrepreneur for almost 25, 26 years now, one of the easiest things to do is to shut and move on to what is working. I defied the odds and decided not to shut the business. Picked up my phone and started making calls. I realized that there are a lot of well-wishers and friends in the organization as well as in the industry that I have, and could we really work with them because of the slowdown in the business overall and provide them with solutions to problems which otherwise they wouldn't have had the time or the bandwidth to work on. So at our expense, at our cost, we worked with one of the largest retailers in India. We worked with a very large bank in India, and without any cost to them, started creating proof of concepts for them with live data. For example, for the retailer that I'm talking about, we integrated 70 sources of data. So multiple POS systems, their store data, they had 150 stores, they had an e-commerce site, they were present on marketplaces like Flipkart, Myntra, Amazon. They had their own shopping shops, which were shut at that point in time. But it was a well-rounded retailer that come in with almost 65 million customer records. So we offered them that for the next 1 year, we would work for them for free, right? Bring in all of the data in on at one place, integrate all of that data, and help them solve for their most important problems. And the most important problems were those three problems that I spoke to you about. And this was verbatim told to me by the CEO of the business, where he wanted to consolidate all of his data, bring the data in a timely manner for him or the store managers or the inventory managers to see that intelligence as it happens. And finally, provide them with intelligence so that they could focus on certain areas and specific areas of solutions. We started working with that and we built ICOGZ on the strength of the live data that this organization gave us. So 65 million records, if you consider 4 to 5 transactions per year per customer, and you consider that they buy about 4 or 5 products, you can imagine the quantum of data and the intelligence that we got to play with. And we built the entire system on the background of such data. Once we did that, we realized that marketing is just one piece of the puzzle. Businesses today require far more support and intelligence than just in the marketing front. And that's where the current avatar of ICOGZ came in. We've currently applied for about 13 patents, of which we've been granted patent pending status for about 4 of them. We are working with one of the largest consulting firms in the world, definitely one amongst the big 4 in India, in the Middle East. We are in talks with various other consulting companies across the region. We have an office in India. We have an office in Dubai. We have an office in Canada, we have an office in UK, and very shortly we'll have an office in Singapore and Saudi Arabia as well, where we are going, appointing partners and expanding our entire reach of business across to a whole host of organizations that we can support and work with. In this, my role started with product evangelism to begin with. I was the product conceptualizer. It was my vision that we started working with. Thereafter, my role now has become that of the storyteller. I go out, engage with people, with businesses. I am the solutions architect for the business. I'm working with various CEOs and CXOs, helping them analyze from inside out and outside in various trends that they need to be cognizant of, and therefore, how can they ride the wave of data sciences or AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning, kind of tools or products that can be brought into their business. And therefore, how can they compete with their peers in a more effective manner? That's what I do. I play the role of the advisor, the consultant, internally as well as externally. I also am, representing the company at various forums, in various conferences. I also represent the company as far as the PR outreach is concerned. I'm the face of the company as of this point in time. This will change very drastically, in the days to come, when our chief growth officer, the revenue officer, and the product officers will start talking and start taking various other conversations up ahead for the product itself. But, in short, I am currently the uh, go-to market person responsible for creating multiple market strategies for the business, as well as contribution to the product and the product intelligence from all the stuff that I learn in talking to people. I come back and give a lowdown to my team, and then that team then takes it up and then starts expanding on that and building on that sector wise, right? Like, for example, right now we're working with one of the largest banks, and they have a very weird and a very peculiar problem that they need sorted. And we are right now working on solutions with them on how do we solve for this particular bank all of the problems that they have from their branch banking perspective, and so on and so forth, right? So I hope that helps address my role as well as a lot of other questions that you may have.
Right, I think that was a very comprehensive, a detailed answer as to what is your role and contribution towards the company. I'm sure our listeners quite have will get a definite idea about what the company is into or what your role has been, and definitely your past experience into the diverse field of marketing brings like an addition to an added experience to just like one sector of what ICOGZ is targeting right now. Now, moving ahead, as I believe the data collection and the volume is surging, so enterprises are kind of overwhelmed with both data and metadata. Now, for this reason, our data intelligence software has been increasingly using artificial intelligence or machine learning to automate certain activities. So that helps deliver a trustworthy data or a trustworthy data set to those who need it, like maybe your data scientists or engineers. So, what are your views on the AI solutions or the integration of AI in data analytics?
Lovely question. So let me attempt to answer this, in a slightly simplified manner. Okay. Uh, as of now, there are very few true, genuine AI solutions that exist in the world. For a very, very, very long time, it is my belief, my understanding that when we spoke of AI, we were actually speaking of, automations, how we were intelligently creating automations, whether it is about integration of data, extraction of data, or whatever else that you may have at that point in time. AI solutions, machine learning solutions is today able to solve a lot many more problems and give insights where none existed earlier. For example, if you look at the growth of OpenAI, if you look at the ChatGPT or Bard, now called Gemini, and various other tools that are coming in system which are helping us simplify our jobs, right, in more ways than one. Uh, I think AI essentially has a very, very different role to play, and I don't even think that we've started scratching the surface as far as AI solutions and adoptions are concerned. At ICOGZ, when we started building our AI models or machine learning models, one of the most important things that we really took into account was, are we solving for a problem statement? Are we solving for an organization's leadership's problems, problem questions that come by? And therefore, instead of just building a solution or building a stack which exemplifies or glorifies the developer, could we really make it more meaningful? For example, one of the challenges that we faced when ChatGPT came in, we had to alter our entire business model to integrate our own GPT or a large language model into the ICOGS product itself. But when we looked at the entire GPT model, companies with very large data security, info security, guidances or guidelines in place, seldom want to expose their data to open source platforms such as ChatGPT or OpenAI and so on and so forth, which is where we got the opportunity to build our own. And we are currently building our own, LLM tool, which essentially will sit on top of the entire data harmonization that we are doing. And it will thereafter be prompt engineered to only answer specific questions. Now, let me qualify specific questions. When I speak of specific questions, we believe that, and this is coming out of extensive research and knowledge sessions that we've done with our one of our big four partners, we've done with our clients, we've done with various industry leaders who sit on our board of advisors, and identified that the same insight could have different ramifications for a call center executive and a different ramification for the CEO of the organization, right? So two different extremes or polar opposite profiles and roles that come by. And the AI solution that you create needs to be able to identify the question on the basis of the answer to the question on the basis of who's asking this question. It's not about just giving the answer, but it's also about creating the right relevant intelligence for the person and the answer that for that role is important. A call center executive may want to know more insights on intelligence on his or her performance as far as what they could do to better their performance in terms of answering queries. But when the CEO is asking for that at a scale of, let's say, analyzing 2,000 or 3,000 people working in a call center, he or she is asking for insights in terms of, let's say, if it were a bank, right? And we work with banks. So I can give you this example. Why is a consumer leaving my credit card or giving up my credit card and going to some other credit card company? Why is a customer closing their bank account with us? Which of my branches are weak on loans, or which of my branches are weak on credit card solutions or opening bank accounts for corporates, and so on and so forth? Now, two different levels, but the intelligence comes from the same space. Now, we have a solution that we have as a partner that we've integrated with. We are able to listen in to 100% of all conversations that happen in a call center, right? Inbound or outbound. We are able to listen into all conversations in 40 odd languages, 14 of which are Indian, right? Now, it's not just about listening, it's also about converting it into intelligence. So we've taken that entire listening tool and converted that into a complete metadata for each of the calls. We know exactly where the problem statements are. We know exactly where the consumer is leaving the company. We know we can identify why is this customer irate. We can identify why is this customer happy, and so on and so forth. Now, all of that data, imagine if I could marry 100% of all the conversations that are happening within your organization, call center, feedback that you're capturing at physical retail, reviews that you're capturing online, reviews that you're capturing out of Google My Business Reviews or TripAdvisor or Facebook or anywhere else, and marry that into business performance. So if your sales is going down, can I extract consumer conversations and tell you why the sales of a particular product are going down? That in our submission is where we put our AI and machine learning tools to use, right? So we've not built just a tool which helps, create some great visualization. We've built a tool which is able to solve problems, right? Real world problems that essentially help you solve real world issues, correct? And that's what our AI solution does. That's what our machine learning codes are, coded to do. They are primarily focused on taking all of this data, converting it into intelligence based on the problem statements that an organization has. Now, in this, we worked with OpenStack data, we worked with private data, we worked with our own clouds that we've created, data clouds that we've created. We've created customer intelligence and customer, feedback loops that we've identified, and we are building intelligence on that. We've built tools which are able to listen in to every conversation that happens, not just on social media, but anywhere. So I'm able to marry digital, I'm able to marry videos, I'm able to marry social, I'm able to marry your internal conversations, your reviews, everything, your store data, your e-commerce data, and create influence metrics in terms of what kind of influence are you exerting on your customer. Oh, is that positive? Is that negative? And this is not just feedback, it is also about buying decisions, right? Are people adding certain products to your basket and then not buying? What are the reasons for not buying? Can we create that intelligence and give that back to the retailer to make an intelligent guess or an intelligent submission? Hence, for us, AI, ML is not just technology, it's also to do with solving problems. That's what ChatGPT does, if you look at it, right? It is helping you become better. So there are a lot of myths about ChatGPT. A lot of people keep speaking that AI will take jobs away. In my opinion, AI will not take jobs away. AI will make your life easier, make you more competent, make you more effective in terms of doing your job better. However, a person using AI will definitely take away the job from a person not using AI, right? In the future, that's where our lives would head, and that's where we will see a world of change that will come by as far as organizational effectiveness is concerned or business is concerned.
Right, true. I think I completely agree with you. Because when we talk about business intelligence, it's more like explanatory and backward looking, where we are trying to survey the past and trying to examine what exactly happened and why. And if you talk about AI and ML, they're more like forward looking. So these
Correct.
models, AI and ML models, help make predictions basically. And
Correct.
today, modern organizations are using AI to glean competitive insights or pulling nuggets of wisdom from a river of data. So I think they both kind of go hand in hand, and we definitely need AI and ML when we're talking about gleaning insights from data. So that's like a must-have when we're talking about AI and ML. Now, but when we talk about a business intelligence solution, I think so far from what you have said, I believe that a business intelligence solution, like, it helps or empowers our organization to boost its efficiency or improve the overall performance and increase revenue. So I also believe that data should be accessible, easily accessible and available for everyone in the organization.